So hey everybody, Simon here. Welcome to another instance. Something that I really want to go ahead and run up in the case instance of creation. This is something that I think you guys will enjoy in the case of concept. Welcome to another one of my versus battles. I haven't done one in a minute. By the time you guys recording this, I have a lot of different case ideas of versus battles, power scaling, other certain different things along those lines that I can't wait to go and push out, and the probability of them being pushed out. Hope you guys will be rocking with this one. By today's title, we have Takkar from Far Cry Primal versus the Predator, but this Predator is going to be Prey's Predator, aka the Feral Predator, aka the Predator of the 18th century. I hope you guys will enjoy. I have other case ideas to come with this character, things involving Far Cry, as by the time you guys seen this as well, you guys know I'm playing Far Cry 3. I hope you guys will enjoy. Let's go and get it popping.
Waking up like hello, feeling so mellow. Fresh up out the shower, but there's nothing on my schedule. Mother effer, what it do? My steez be the swaggiest, fits real clean, but my flows be the nastiest. That's where I'm working for it all. Other dudes can have it quick, easy come, easy go. Miss me with that slacker shit, I spit like I had a list. Rap gang Fallon shit. Life could be easy if you know how to balance it. I started from the bottom and
Start off with the car first, the apex predator, the man that tames beasts beyond all comprehension. Starting in 10,000 BCE, Central Europe, Takkar, no last name, is a caveman, aka Winja case warrior of the Winja tribe, fighting off two of the great carnage-bringing tribes in the case of the Zila, Sunwalker, Sun Prayers, and all this instance of cultist form people of the time led by the general form killer scorcher of the land of Oros, where this game takes place, in the place that Takkar and the rest of his fam is fighting for, and the Udom led by Ud, this general war chief dude that is cannibalistic, brutal, and terrifying in the case of his methods of doing things, and then corresponded with the fact that he has to do with multi-case apex predators of the time. Takkar will push to go ahead and do the best for his people, but before all this happened, he was hunting out with his brother and a few other people of Winja, until, after killing a mammoth, setting it free from this world in a respectful way, was attacked by a saber-toothed tiger, a blood-fang saber-toothed tiger to be exact. And this is a blood-fang saber-toothed tiger that you can go ahead and conquer your fears against and actually tame in the midst of trying to actually go about your way and not, get fucked over by it. But in the stitch of also doing that as well, it will cross a line with the sense of other animals that are also big beasts. We're going to get into that. But besides that, back on the course of the story, my man Takkar would be almost at death's door until his brother would sacrifice himself for him to go and live and course down the road to rebuilding the Winja's name and making a perfect case tribe for him the means to do better things in the form of warriors, sense of code and standard of, we fell from grace, but we don't stuck in the trenches, gang. Takkar, you the one SoundCloud rapper in the hood that actually got talent. You gotta go and save us, gang. You gotta push us out the trenches, dog. So that's what Takkar would go and steady push onward in the case instance of his purpose at hand for being a warrior. And so in the midst of that, he would meet other Winja, a multi-vast case, defeat the Udam, lead the defeat Patari, Scorch, fire smoking her, withholding her neck with one hand, and in that case would also culminate into the sense of being the leader of the Winja, being the tribe's chieftain, living like a king, taming multi-case animals, taming the blood-fang tiger, having all these very great skills that you can use in the sense of the jungle like season area, which I'm going to talk more about, but that's pretty much the case of his history. Now time for his assets and capabilities that you can use in the fight, no programming shit. His capabilities are very vast. He has spear, general club, two-handed club, bow and arrow, longbow. He has multi-case animals that he can use, and I'm going to explain how, in considerable case, why his tame animals are not by definition a case of prep slash not base equipment, as these animals will always be summoned by your hand, could always be popped in, And if we wanted to, because I want to kind of have this be a stitch of like a narrative, but also line within the power scaling point of view. And so, in the same sense, for these animals, you're always able to call them in. They're always selling what you have them on baseline. If we go by the case of the poster cover, the general case of how you would go about things in your most powerful, we're going to utilize him for this conversation, as there are some other conversations I would like to go and use. And I've thought about this before, but I think just to have one, so it's one animal, because if he's able to like to keep plucking out multiple of his animals and some multiple of them after the fact of death, and he has them all prowling around the space where he's going to be fighting, and then randomly get plucked in and massage this man's hairline in the form of the predators in the midst of doing something, big Yankee rock on this man, then I feel like it's going to be overkill, because all the multi-fleeting on this man, back-to-back, pit for pit, in the senses of a predator, back-to-back killing them as we're going like from a bottom to top in the regard of versatileness. He would be running through them as he is a predator, and I'm going to talk about his feats. But I feel like for this conversation, we're going to use the Bloodfang Sabertooth, the Sabertooth that was a cause of killing some of his brothers and sisters, technically the fault of killing his brother, in this case conquered his fears, pushed past that, tamed this saber-tooth thing to Tiger, and with he or she, don't exactly know the gender, where the fuck this saber-tooth big ass tiger aligns with what I meant fully, because I mean y'all in between, sorry for that. It's gonna been a late day in the same sense, but also in pose with the case of the obvious point that I was saying is simply aligned what the arguable case bigger purpose is kind of mixed. And again, I don't want to overrun the different case animals, so I want to stick with a medium case thing, because all these animals are all optionable. You could go for the game without having any of them, even though I don't know who would not. Who would just want to pet saber-tooth tiger, you know what I'm saying? But I could go more vast in the capabilities. The eagle, I don't want that to be a thing unless we're talking the six of like a narrative take, because the eagle even then wouldn't do that much to the predator in my opinion. I think it's obvious that the case of him having a mammoth is not good, because a mammoth would be overkill. I don't think the predator could do anything without going invisible or without general case of mind against Takkar that could really do that much. And then Takkar just has a lot more at advantage than the rest of them, and it's also just simply the fact that in comparison with the predator turning invisible or doing whatever the fuck to try to get out of dodge and push against the mammoth with his blades, arrows, bombs, split blades, things like that. Again, he's way more versatile than any other case of them in the same sense. With this, in this case of the habitat that we're talking about, and simply put, I don't see anything commonly that will like make the predator stand that much of a chance. And I feel like one big bunk from mammoth's skull, and we compare a elephant of today being able to destroy trees and smash small buildings with his trunk, and then the mammoth being accounted to be like a elephant if it had to survive in a lot more dangerous, hard A landscapes of the time, because of the fact that again mammoths are built entirely different. They have a longer tusk, they are considerably bigger, they had to survive harsher form weather, climate, things like that, and simply put, they are just built different. I mean, you're gonna see between cases of footage that if you fuck with a mammoth, you are gonna get stomped. Like, it's not even an argument. Like, this is a battering ram of like 500,000 pounds or something, like a whole ton, my nigga. Like, it's outrageous the strength that mammoth got. Like, you could run for a whole fucking base with just a mammoth itself. Like, there's not even an argument to be had. But again, I'm just going to run the Bloodfang since it seems the most suited. I like the story structure part of the Bloodfang, with the Bloodfang being the killer to your brother, but then coursing on to tame all these different animals, be vast, assessing your skills, and then progressing more stronger than ever. It turns into a sense of your pet slash comrade, you know what I'm saying? So that's why, in comparison to all the rest, I like it the most, and it kind of seems the most suiting, as even though there's multiple covers, you have a bear, the general saber-tooth, the fucking mammoth itself, I feel like Bloodfang is probably the best. So the blood fang to talk about, saber-tooth tigers were counted as one, if not the greatest mainland land predator on the planet. Is times the bite force of a tiger has a bite force ridiculously beyond the general concept of a tiger, which in this instance is enough to crack a human skull. Would be beyond an Ivan Drago level punch. Has speed ridiculously beyond comprehension. Is more faster than the saber-tooth, because the saber-tooth tiger is an ancient animal. There's never been a actual strong lay of proof or accounting for the sense of its speed. But if we take in consideration tigers and their running speed, their stamina, their endurance, and the fight, and the fact that again these things literally hunted humans for sport. Like, there's never been an accounting of a human able to face saber-tooth tiger, its claws, its teeth, its bite force, its predator instinct, the fact that they're able to climb on mammoths and kill ridiculously different apex predators and kill themselves and be victorious shows a great deal. So Takkar's rolling up with the greatest predator that could possibly exist on the plane of the land of Oros. Okay. And then Takkar with his abilities, Takkar obviously defeated Ooh, big ass dude, can outdo him, scales to him and be able to hurt him. Best petardy in the shooting range, 10 bunch of them people, has a great deal of battle IQ, strong in his own right, has a great deal of armor, is completely peak human by the regards of everything that he's been able to stand. In case of his armor that he considerably has by different form pictures, when you have a full upgrade, is entirely built different, and he's just a big, strong, club-wielding Goliath at hardcore, and would just ramsack for your whole team, regardless of sense of who you are. So this Predator is gonna have a problem. I'm not gonna talk about the Predator though. The Predator, or the Yacha, a race of alien predators, obviously, that hunt prey all across the galaxy. They come from a planet that the best to say, which I forgot the name to say, so research is being said, but the best to describe it is pretty much like Mars, so different aspects of the geography and the landscape of the deserty form and a very harsh environment, but is the best case environment to live and breathe when it comes down to being a great apex hunter. And so these motherfuckers being on their bloodhound shit hunt more different case of animals and people. In the case of how they become predators, aka the Archer becoming more than what they already were in the sense of the rank, ties all the way back in the same sense of becoming more and more in the case of growth to becoming ultimate case predators in the grand scope, and in the case of them becoming these bigger, more stronger form predators, comes with them hunting on their own planet, hunting in the case of different groups, and grossing in the case of the rank. In these instances of grossing in the form of their skills, things along those lines, they will grow to go ahead and one, get better form tech, get better capabilities, tie with it, and be able to have the skills, the knowledge, and other things to go ahead and best other case of predators and other case of animals, or where the hell may be on different forms of planets and people as well. So to go ahead and start with doing this, even though Alien versus Predator the movie is not canon, it does hold a lot of, in the words of Key Issues, a lot of origin stake in the matter, and they are canon in the form of a universe, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure by a different account, novelization in the case of the writers, especially since they tie in together and are owned by the same company. Aliens and Predator, they do exist in the same universe, but the events of both Aliens vs Predator movies, the games, all that shit don't exist except for the comics. I think the comics are canon in some, but pretty much to become Ultimate Predator, regardless of just hunting a xenomorph in Pacific, we want to be by the code name, would be to extend your skills to greater heights by hunting again different creatures of different forms of planets, and grossing in the case of number of kills, hunting experience to become this. And like Saiyans or Viltrumites, with a person being sent to a planet to claim it in honor of their, the case of tentacle nation slash planet. The predators kind of do this, but in the means to be hunting, and in the means to be hunting, they hunt in the case of vast ways, and their hunting does not just extend just simply to, oh, I go to this part of this and I just kill and hunt. No, it is in specific to go ahead and test the skills. And so with a predator in comparison, or possibly like this Yacha, even though he does not have the other case of things that would make a supreme Yacha a predator, he has the wrist blades, he has the case of like a spicer, so it's laser, but it's more like arrows, things like that, and all these different things. But I feel like it's only because of the type of predator that he is, and the pure fact that this predator comes from a time and place where it's not. And again, those other movies are not canon, so even though in the case of the movies the predators are a lot more advanced and things like that, there could be argument because of depending on the case at the time, the predators are a lot more backpedaled, and this is their technology, like how they're compared when they were with the fucking Mayans and say different things like that. If in the time, not at that time, Aztecs to be exact, I don't want to confuse the names, but I'm just saying, like, from different counting and morals, if they were doing hunting on Earth by the time of Aztecs, all the way for like 14th century going further, and then talking with Mayans in between that within the 16th century, and then obviously Prey, the movie, which is bussin' movie, good take on Predator. I like the feel of it. Does have some technical problems, but I give it 8.5 out of 10. It ain't too bad, right? It takes place in the 18th century, 1776 to be exact. The case of this predator most likely has killed a form of a xenomorph, and if not, has killed beasts that scale over some different form of Yacha. And again, to rescind my statement, no matter if it's not canon or this, it has killed a different form. And sorry for the yawn, it is late by the time I'm recording this, and this is kind of a different form of split recording in the case of time that comes with this, but not to yawn or do anything out of the place of general explanation, because I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the video so far. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments, right? But within the killing of a xenomorph, they would earn the mark bad the case of the crown of being predator within their mass, and supposed to go ahead and hunt and expand their case of skill and showcase more in a deeper form. And so in this case, this Yacha went to Earth and decided to go and hunt the best form possible prey slash warriors. This predator would kill the means of testing skills in different environments, killing different animals, like a wolf killing a bear. And this is of the 18th century, where a bear was the most fearful case enemy alive in the same sense. Would put trappers in fear faster than our horses. Guns only infuriate, a bunch of things like that. I've already said on record with a video with Connor Kenway on how bears are ferocious, would help set the program, and not by a case of being featured in it, as I don't know the man. It's only by a case of regard of his talking about it, and by request of the fact that, you know, you get a better feel of a bear's strength. Go watch that, or you could look up yourself all these different accounts. But pretty much bears are ferocious by the instance of that, and also by all the accounts and the allegations about that man. I would not want to work with him. No, hell no. Weird nigga activity. No, not my thing. But in the same sense of all that stuff aside, this predator very ferocious, a beast, getting wrist blades, has what a general case of spicers, has bombs that kind of work as like split grenades and not like damn near equivalent of like a fucking nuke in the space or radius, not like a fucking double A form rocket launcher being shot off, because again, this is in the past. But I also wanted to go ahead and say, because putting a narrative sense into the case of the battle and the technical case of like what would happen in the mix of all these different possibilities happening within the land of Oros, and with this predator coming to this land and things like that. The predators have a code of honor and they live by it. It's kind of like three tenets of assassins. They will kill almost anything except for these. They will not kill a person if they are pregnant, as they will not kill two, especially if the pregnant woman cannot defend herself. And by general court, a pregnant woman will not seek out a fight, and they will not kill another by this case. They are not going to do a discount settlement form of abortion and not just kill the case of the child inside the mother's womb by the same sense of trying to catch prey, with this being said. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. They're not going to just murk the case of the woman that has a child, you know what I'm saying? So that is why, in comparison to others, they're not going to do that, because it's just wrong. Being said, they will not kill children, especially if they can't defend themselves. They will not kill a person generally if they cannot defend themselves in the general case, and they will sometimes nerf themselves like battle beasts, not scar themselves or whatever, but take off their mounted plaster, take off their mask, take off any other sensitive weapons, just use a wrist blade. In comparison, 1v1 in general unit square combat, you know what I'm saying, they will set up a way for it just to be them and disregard all the sense of their higher form tech and advantages, to be equal on a playing field, and whatever their prey requests such simulates in an even stasis evolving battle, they will go ahead and downgrade themselves to represent that they, one, fear no prey. There is no prey, no predator in this galaxy that will put me down as a predator like shit. And then the other thing is that they will not hurt anyone that is dying in sickness. So if you have cancer, you had COVID, you have anything bottomly inside of you that is affecting you, they will not hurt you, because one, you technically are already dying in retrospect, and hypothetical, because it's not by second, obviously, you know, there's antidotes, cures, that's how they perceive it from their see-through vision, and taking the fact that these are diseases that they don't know exactly, but they can see inside of you, so they know that technically at your high end you won't be fighting at your strongest if you're already dying slash already feeling bad from a case of hypothetical disease or something bigger affecting you. So with that being said, the predators live by a strong form code of honor, and they will do this not just with humans, but any case of life form in the general sense. This mainly only happens to humans because they're the only people that have the better sense of intelligence, with this being said. So, yeah, pretty much it when it comes down to predators, it's just total honor and what they stand by for, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that being said, here's how the fight will probably go out in the same sense of a fighting sense. With that being said, and that's pretty much that. But again, to break it down, I'm going to be going over a narrative take, talking about a power scaling a little bit, and deep retrospect in comparison to different things that need to be taken in comparison, and what they've done different from retrospect. And this Predator is good, and Predator at this time in the 18th century killed a bunch of Native Americans, killed colonizers as well, and died from getting trapped and played super and underestimating an opponent, which is a very form plot thing. But in this case, seeing a full dead ass warrior, it's going to be like on site. There's no form that is underestimated. There's no arrogance, because it only happens considerably for the pride stance. But since Takkar without Bloodfang and being like that, this Predator probably pull back on his general run of fighting, which we'll get into when the time comes. But anyway, let's go and talk about a sense into the battle. Now to go and get some things out the way in the sense of, again, the narrative take. So the Ultra lands from the ship, pulls up, plane dip speeds off from the sense of the northwest side of the land of Oros. Is looking for prey. We know that on the upper side, this is where the Udam live, and we're not going to take another critters precaution. We're just going to say the general people in Takkar for this. If you guys wanted me to like do like a narrative in-depth breakdown of like what would the Predator be like in Far Cry Primal, like as a world, we can do that, because that's not what I'm doing here. I just think it's an interesting case of discussion, especially the type of character Takkar is, and taking in the place of like how Prey was like, and it being so far back, but more modern far back, and not like whole ancient history, because again, we're talking about a sorry, this is stuck in my throat, fuck. to a character so far back, 10,000 BCE, my nigga, where man was just coming into what it was, and my man's come out of nowhere on some full whole other different shit, full ready to fight, killing people back to back. And again, this man, Takkar, is just chilling. He hears about the tales of this beast-like man. Again, after from getting off from the ship, full plane dip jet speeds off in the sand sense of the wilderness. From this point, it then courses off from the snowy area, possibly, and killing Udam out scouting. Not gonna be in the cold area because we don't know how y'all should be like in the cold area, and only more advancer y'all should kind of been seen in colder areas. Even though the most coldest area we ever seen in y'all should be in is an AVP, which is not canon, but I don't really think there's a strong argument that said they couldn't, but we're just gonna leave that to interpretation. But that's besides the point. So in this mix, Takkar is concerned and is taking consideration that if Udam are afraid and Azila are not moving out as much because hearing the terror of this beast man, that they need to be aware. As you know, Udam are driving like flies. U hasn't came out. Like Takkar is the only one going out hunting right now. Everybody's scared. But Takkar is not afraid. He goes out with his blood fang and he hunts down Beastman. And so this Beastman, this apex predator, Takkar, being a Winja chief, decides it's best to scout out and peek. And in the midst of doing that, the predator aims down red down sights on the blood fang going forward and shoots it. The blood fang gets shot, but it's still alive, still breathing. This is when Takkar basically orders it in a tame sense to go after it, and the blood fang pours and pushes after it with lightning speed. Dummy fast eyes, pushes after it full on, you know what I'm saying? This is one fight commenced, but in this fight, I just want to say a few things about in the case of feet stuff, because you guys know me kind of in a smidge. Like I like breaking that all down, the general sense explanation of the character in the intro sense, but it's also like in the midst of all the sense of the scaling tie with the character, and to be a strong supplement of what making the character is, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot to go by, and I want it to be realistic and make sense in the long run, and so correspond with, again, all these different greater case stuff that makes these characters what they are. This character, Takkar, has faced a great deal of people, but has never like had some great A stuff, so they're gonna be on an equal front. Things are solid. It's gonna be like that for a good deal. Again, I like breaking these different things down, but I want to talk about what's gonna make the fight be what it is in a general sense. So speed is even. Takkar's never like flat out dodge anything of high end things. Like these people that he's facing are using arrows and spears and shit. And so in a considerable case, like if he wanted to, even though there's not any like strong form scaling from that, because you're not like Jin, who like has superb case dodging skills that you could put easily supersonic if you wanted to go ahead and try to scale from a different form. Not like that he's that, because again he's not dodging bullets. With that being said, but you could, for example, what is being said, to keep that into mind, the saying you could, easily put supersonic or hyper this or relativistic, where it's like easy stances of showing. And even then, if you say that, the predator never like flat out dodges anything like that. But I wanted to like wank and like keep in that same circle of like what if, right, on some Spartan shit, it would just be the same account. And it's kind of just a very like dumb form thing, like to try to like foolproof or do this or do that. Like it's not really a thing that really gets proven or not in a higher sense. It's just kind of like whatever at that point. Because if he was straight up dodging or parrying or bonking arrows like he was Jin Sakai, who could easily deflect, parry, and scrape arrows in the midst of a second. That again, that easily makes, in comparison, supersonic, but in the case of the argument, would actually be subsonic in speeds. Cobra Kai sans scaling, right? So he would be at that speed, and that would be case equal. But again, he never deliberately does that, so I don't really know does that. It kind of sounds weird to say. He doesn't necessarily deliver. It kind of sounds weird in that case saying. I don't know if I said it right. I was like a tongue twister in that case saying because I've been able to articulate myself good. But again, he doesn't indeliberately do that. In the same sense of doing that, he does just fine against wall level and people that do greater stuff. I also want to talk about like his durability and things like that, because the Predator without a doubt would be able to hurt him because he's able to take great animal clawings and hits. Was being said, he has 5 health bars to the highest peak that any Far Cry character I think can get to, right? But when he gets hit by these people, he either gets great severe damage or only has that. I feel like he would be able to take a great deal, but since he never does the great deal of like instant form killing with the Yacha, it's really going to depend on the scenario, and I think it's very mixed to say he could survive that, and him taking a hit from a mammoth, especially the baby ones, the small ones, isn't really a strong form feat, because even though the Great Blue Barrack can possibly destroy small buildings to a low medium men, he never takes them full grade, especially the big man. I'm talking the busky, big husky mammoths. Like, I'm talking the father mammoths. He gets ran over like fucking steamrolled. I'm talking linebacker blammed. Like, nigga gets ran over. Alright, case of background or something. So, with his speed and things like that taken consideration, I don't really think he would be able to go ahead and defeat the Predator just on like durability alone, which is the whole even scaling thing. And I'm also not trying to be too loud because I know that somebody is sleeping right now, being the case of my mom, and I ain't trying to wake her up. Even might be annoyed with her. It's just I don't got nothing else to do, and I do kind of want to get this video out, edited, all that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes down to that. But full pushing with the fight though, in the rounds of the fight, the Bloodfang will be pushing up, the Predator will be crushing on it, right? Get full eagle on Bloodfang, roar, fight, crunch on his neck, they'll be rolling around, roar, scratching, big fight, the car would pull out his arrow, get between the mix to find an opening because of the Bloodfang being on top of the Predator in this scenario, and so instead with it, Predator pushing the Bloodfang back, try to shoot the car in the midst of the car trying to shoot the arrow at him, and the car only on a little luck would go ahead and dodge it, as you know, seeing that he could do that, and it's 0 arrow again, no like plucking arrows and this smooth matrix dodging like subsonic speed shit, right? He would dodge it, and in between the fight, hitting things like that, then on the general eagle sense, he would get out of dodge in the midst of the Predators try to claw at him and then the Bloodfang, but I feel like because of how in comparison gameplay and how to fights, they two would really try to scratch and kill this Yacha. The Yacha with its wrist blades, even though getting scratched, getting clawed, being at 50% health, it seems like now, fighting would be able to scourge the Bloodfang and decapitate it or split its throat. So the Bloodfang is out of the fight. The car is big surprised by this, but sees opening and sees that's damage. So he readies up his double hand club and gets into his stance, and they're both looking at each other, sizing each other up, feeling each other out. He takes out both his wrist blades, puts down the case of his thing. His mask is a little bit more revealing of its eyes. He roars with the iconic Predator sound, and they face each other, right? They're fighting, and in the mix of the fighting though, the car is facing, he's rocking with him, they big fighting, they big jacking, all that, and I feel like this fight will be a 50-50, mainly because of the counting of the fact that the car is a good fighter, but the car never like deliberately like shows like full combat skills. He's kind of more like a diverter and kind of area appointed fight. Like you can fight for him, but he only faces fodder. And if I'm being honest, like if you try running up on Ul like full fight sense, you get bodied. And by the time I'm recording this, I have finished Far Cry 3. He's not like Jason Brody, who really does have a great deal of like combat experience and greater like feat taking. So I think it's kind of mixed like what type of weaponry he mixes up on him. If I stab mix him up, I feel like it would be a very Todrado fight. And I think most of the time, I'm not gonna lie, I think the Yacha Predator wins, but I think like a 7.5 and a little bit like near a 9 on a Yacha wins. But I think Takkar could win. But what do y'all think? That's my opinion there. I think it's a pretty cool fight. We'll love to see it full done. I think it's going to be a very interesting discussion if it comes into that. I don't want anybody to be boom mad about the sense of the conversation at hand. Is it simply put, like, that's how I see it. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, Army. Love y'all. What's the peace, brother?
Schlau Dragwash.
Took all the hard blows and make sure I made it out alive. Some real brother shit right there. I feel bad a little bit. But it's real brother. May you have to find grace wherever you may be.